And we are live. Clary, how are you doing?
I'm weird, very weird. It's first. Do you have your phone? We'll get into me later. Do you have your phone? I want to show what a great person I am.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. There we go. Um, do you see the picture of the sunset I sent you?
Yeah, I got it twice, actually.
Those are slightly different ones. I am giving up that sunset to be on the show with you because all it's been has been 100 degrees and not a cloud in the sky, and the sunsets are all right. But now I got a really good sunset, and now I got to be down here in my recording studio. I just want to point out I'm giving up a sunset for you.
I just want to say, dude, I have missed this. I really appreciate you
What?
coming
Just you
back.
and me on the show?
Yes. Like
It's been what? 4 episodes.
it's been a month,
Yeah.
I do things like go to Hawaii and the West Coast, and
Mhm.
yet, after being with Jack Napier, after being with one of my cam girls, I'm like, they're okay, but we need to get Clary back on here.
I do beat cam girls. Cappy trumps cam girl. Anybody, Jack is like the two of diamonds in any deck. No, anything trumps that. That's well, I'm happy to be here. Yeah, I figured you'd have to go out on your own. I obviously I had stuff going on too. So, oh, hang on. I have to. The alarm is telling me I got to be on a
You got
show
me.
with someone. Yeah, the alarm. But yeah, no, I'm glad to be back. So,
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm trying to make it so I don't want to be that guy who's like, dude, let's do it, because I want you to enjoy your summer and the sunsets and everything.
Oh, I'm getting
Um,
paid. I mean, you give me financial compensation. This is retribution. This is reparations for the oppression of the things when you stole my super chats and everything. Um, yeah, no, I have no problem coming on, but yeah, it's related to how I'm doing and why I'm weird. It is. I've never been in a situation like this, but how would I explain it?
Tell us.
Well, I'm trying to figure it out without sounding arrogant, but also descriptive. So post traumatic stress is a real thing
Mhm.
for guys in war or like you were in a fight, something truly traumatic. All right. It
Dating
is not,
cuddles.
it is, yeah, or yeah, it is not for something where, oh, I got a B plus on my paper, and, an excuse for weak people to be victims. But usually, if you look up the definition of post traumatic stress, it is associated with a individual event or person or something. Uh, Particular firefight, in your case, particular girl. So it had to be one thing. But there's this thing where, and they don't have. I talked to Dr. Maloney about this. There's no such thing as a long term. Like if your environment was X for a long period of time and it switches from X to Y quickly,
Hmm.
it's not traumatic. It's so much stressful, but it's just weird where it's all go, 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 go. It's been that way for the past 30 years almost. And now I got free time. Like the house is done and all this. And it's good because I have a lot of free time. It's a little weird because, okay, I got to figure out what to do again. I got to learn how to have fun again. Like, okay, it's okay to sit and do nothing. But dude, all these nightmares are coming back now from my past. And it is not fun wrestling with that. Like you have time, you're like, I did it. And then all of a sudden the stuff hits you and you're like, oh crap. And so it's a really obscure, like I got a great sunset and I can't think of mistakes. I can't stop thinking of mistakes I made in, 1995 or something like that. And then
No.
the constantly gotta do, gotta go. It's like, no, sit down and play your effing video game. So I've been making progress with that. I've played a game called Assassin's Creed Origins,
With
and I got a
Atham?
good. No, not with Atham. No,
Oh,
this is just kind of a standalone play game.
oh,
But
okay.
I've been playing a good 4 hours a day.
Really?
Yeah, like forcibly so, and that helps. That helps. But yeah, it's just a weird. I'm sure it's like a transition, just like anything else. I'll find a new normal. But yeah, just odd not having like, oh, now you sit and relax. This is the enjoy life stage. And it's like, how do you do that again? And so it is weird. Yeah.
Would it shock you to learn that I can relate 1000% to this?
When you get out of busy season.
April 16th. I
Yeah.
go through this, except on weird years. I go through this every April 16th. You're
Mhm.
go, 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 go. We go till midnight, April 15th. I wake up every April 16th. The adrenaline doesn't stop. The mind doesn't say,
Yeah.
we've made it. Your body is still like, oh my
Yeah.
God, you have nightmares. You have like
Momentum.
You can't just stop. We're not
No.
robots. So I go through this. It usually takes me until about the beginning of May to calm down enough where I can start relaxing and enjoying things a little bit every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So I feel you. And I'm actually proud of you, dude, I never thought you would be able to sit and play video games for more than like an hour. I thought you would get too restless kind of sitting there.
It it is true. I could not sit and play video games. Like, okay, you want to know another thing I did? I was gonna floor you. I went to a movie theater.
What?
I'll never go again because the ads are atrocious and 30 minutes long, but I saw Top Gun Maverick, a very good film. I was glad I saw it. Huh?
Is it worth seeing? We were talking about seeing
it's worth seeing. Yeah, no, it's not the best movie ever, but compared to, it's the best movie out there. Tom Cruise, you have to be impressed with Tom Cruise because he actually produces good, solid movies pretty much all the time. And he delivers good performances. He's the only one in the entire previews. I guess there's another Mission Impossible coming out. Tom Cruise obviously directs it, and it's a two-parter. I'm gonna go see it because they're all solid. Are they Midnight Run or American Beauty or Die Hard? No, but they're solid B+, A- films. And Maverick, I'd give it an A-. It was definitely, yeah. But I sat and watched the movie in the theater. And then the next day we sat and watched on the YouTubes Minions, The Rise of Gru. Yeah, another movie. 2 days in a row. And I played video games.
Damn.
Yeah.
I have a question for you throughout all of this. What's the weather been like? Can you only do this when it's like hot or rainy or?
It's been 95 to 105.
Okay.
And sunny. It's just been miserable, which is another reason I'm pissed off because I can't hike. But tomorrow it's supposed to break. But good news. Would you like the silver lining to this?
Always.
I got solar panels installed about a week ago.
That's good news for me too.
Yeah, it is. It's good news for all of us because all you working schleps are going to give me a nice big fat tax deduction or rebate or something like that. But they, because it's been so sunny, I have been making money on solar panel, even running the air conditioner and the all the other appliances. Like it's kind of a smaller house. It ain't that big. I don't know why they gave me so many solar panels, but they did. So I'm selling back to the grid a lot and kind of making money on electricity right now.
Wait until you see what I can do with those solar panels.
I thought it's only like a third, right?
It doesn't matter because it form 5695. It's a beautiful thing for all you aspiring tax people. That you'll like it. You already are big into.
Well, wait a minute, hold on. So I thought I would get roughly a third. I get like a third of a deduction, right? Or is there something else you know how to work with your accounting magic?
I mean, so in essence, you're correct. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, you're not going to owe any taxes. But the thing is, that third makes a huge difference when you're self-employed. Now, you like to just pay early and pay over, frankly, over.
And over, merely to agitate you, yes.
Which I really wish you wouldn't, but hey, everybody, by the way, you're on an island with that. Everybody here, especially the therapists, do not do that.
I thought you'd be happy that I'm on time, on budget, and a little bit with too much oomph. But
here's the thing. You're not on time. You're early.
I'm
we
early.
Don't eat early. I don't like that. I don't like giving the government money earlier than they deserve it.
You're not. I am.
Yeah. Well, I hate that. Yeah. Now you are on budget. I will say I would rather you err on this side than the side that lately. Remember, I'm dealing with extenders at this point.
Right.
Clary, what do you think the correlation is between people who file extensions and people who submit it?
Gee, I wonder if there's a correlation between them and people who have bad credit scores and don't pay their loans back on time. I'm going to say a 0.85 correlation coefficient.
Now, I'm no statistician, but let's just say they're highly correlated, causated, whatever the statistical terms are. Mm-hmm. So, yes, I do appreciate the fact that you're never short. I mean, we're both short. We're short. This is not my first beer. full disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen, I've got the GF in town, so I'm in an especially good mood because
Hey, well, wait a minute, hold it. Before we go any further, why is the bra not in the background?
I haven't done this yet.
Oh, there, you got to do that. Yeah. But see, if you have someone on the interview, it's got to be in the back.
Well, I
notice
wasn't
all
sure.
my artwork's in the back, right? The bra's got to be in the back. Always use a corner of two walls meeting.
You know, we were working on that, and we didn't know how to make it so we could see the bra. But Clary, you can see you're very diminished right now, and I don't want to leave you feeling diminished.
That's fine. We could achieve both if you just get a thumbtack and tack the bra right there on the corner above you, and then it would be there.
Yeah, we probably should have planned this better. Well, we were out there having fun. She's making food right now. You know, it's been
like a woman should. Like a woman should. All right.
Why is Cappy so small? No, I'll get you back. But anyway, no, actually, you do. I have no problem with what you're doing. I just wish you didn't do it so early. That's my only problem with you.
As you know, you can have that, or you can have me underpay and say, "Oh, I don't have to pay until October," right?
Do you know how often I have tried to remind people that it gives you guys, listen up if you're new to this, an extension only gives you an extension to file, not to pay. You have to pay your taxes by April 15th, except for COVID years. Don't make this mistake. This is like rule number 1A of paying taxes.
Right.
So,
right. Well, I wonder, because a lot of that comes from they switch from W-2 to 1099 and they just don't make their estimated payments, right?
Correct.
And like, I don't know, I just voted Democrat. Why does the government want my money?
But I'm giving him a heads up, dude. I'm not leaving him on an island. I tell them this is what you need to do. And either not listening to me, or it goes in one ear and goes out the other.
I almost guarantee you it's very much like another profession that is got a lot of similarities, and that'd be dentistry, where the dentists say, floss your teeth, do this, do that. And I was not that good when I was younger. I wish I took better dental care, but as I got older, I started flossing regularly and all that. And you'd be amazed how many people don't floss. You know, they don't follow the advice of their dentist. Well, we have a dentist friend. I'm sure he could tell you plenty of stories.
We were just at the gym lifting with him about 5 hours ago. My dentist is my personal trainer. I think you guys already know that, but yeah, no, he will tell you that. In fact, he's very quick to say, yeah, you need to floss. That's equally as important as brushing. So, yes. But otherwise, how's everything else going? I mean, I know that it takes some adjustment to be able to relax, but I mean, you've got to be doing some good hiking. You've been sending some.
No, it's been 100 degrees. There's no hiking. There's not even doing yard work.
Crazy, because it hasn't been bad here.
Okay, I don't know if you knew this. I live about 1,000 miles away from you, and the weather might be slightly different this far away. I know,
but
just a little. No, it's been miserable. Now that being for the weather, I mean, but on paper, everything's going great. Quite literally, things have never been better. I've never had a nice little house like this in my life. I've never had more living space. I've never had more functional, like practical use. I went for a motorcycle ride not too long ago. Two friends in common came to visit unknowingly, totally random on the same day. It was great.
I feel bad I didn't recognize one of them, but yes, that had been great.
Yep. So one guy, which I think we'll keep anonymous because he deserves so. But then the original Marcus Brown was in town.
We've got the other Marcus Brown in the chat.
The other Marcus Brown. Yep.
But this was the original Marcus.
The original short Marcus Brown. So he was in town. We got to hang out. You know, the finances are good. The solar panels are I have the best life possible. The best life possible. It's up here where you got to recognize it. And I think a lot of it is I was working on the house so much. You just see it all the time. You don't realize what you created. And this is why I took like an entire week of doing really nothing but asshole consulting. Cause the GF has got to fly back, to help with her, deceased grandma's estate. And I'm like, no, I'm just spending time. So I've been like eating ice cream, playing video games, sleeping in, having coffee, no working out. I mean, some very minimal stuff, but it's this, man. That's all. Like, I guarantee it's the same thing. you got the setup. You're self-employed. You told the big four to F off. You got this podcast going on. You got a cute girl running around over there somewhere. You have the coolest dentist ever in the
Yes.
history of dentists. But that doesn't mean you didn't go through hell.
Yes.
You didn't have the cuddle welcome experience.
Oh, yes.
You don't have to worry. Yeah, and you go through a tortured thing once a year for about 4 months, and so it's yeah, it is. I would kill. Genie comes out of the bottle. I'd kill to be as easily entertained and happy as I was when I was 4 years old, because if you gave 4-year-old Aaron all this. And I think as you get older and age and life just beats the crap out of you, you lose the ability to have fun or really appreciate things. So it's almost like being not moot. What's a little like you lose the sense of touch a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I got to.
Numb.
So I'm
numb.
forcing myself to play games, watch movies, even though I don't feel like it, and not do any work. And so I think if I keep inuring myself in that environment, I'll pick it up again. So, but I don't know.
Well, we noticed that you were, so I was out. You guys, I went to Hawaii, then I came back, and then I went to Texas, and I visited my family out on the West Coast, Portland. Still a shithole, by the way, in case you didn't know that. I did get to see Tornado Kid, who was into the chat. So good seeing you, dude. Here's the thing. Things are still really screwed up in the world. So I think that it's amazing that you've created this little, like, I don't want to say nest, like niche. Yeah. Like you have this little slice of paradise that I'm telling you, I'm not sure I know really any other people have this, at least people in my.
You got it. You're working from home and you're remote. I think those are about the only two things. You got a monetized channel now too. So it is there. Jack Napier, not that monetized channels is the only thing. Bacon, same thing. But no, it was a weird effed up path. And to give anyone, like, there's a kid called Noah Acosta. He's a regular.
I know.
Yeah. There's and one thing I would point out to him is like, look, if by some miracle you make it through this and you don't resort to drugs or booze or crime or just cracking, you're going to come out of this pretty darn forged, and you're going to have a unique enough path that something good is going to happen. Like if you just keep trying, something good is going to happen, and it's going to be weird. And so I think if you have obscure paths through life, you kind of end up in an obscure, weird place, which a lot of times is good. And if you look at like what society is geared to have, like the mass-produced normal people,
9 to 5,
go and do 9 to 5, MBA, debt, whatever else. Weird or obscure is good. And so it was a different thing. So yeah, there's a good thing at the end of the tunnel on that. You just get back. And you ever watch Ford versus Ferrari?
God, I've been meaning to see that movie. I've heard it is amazing, but I haven't seen it yet. I like the actors.
It's not amazing. It's very good.
It's good, yeah.
It's very good, yeah. But what they kind of got to explain what the Le Mans race is, and I guess it's a 24-hour race or maybe a several-day race nonstop. And they're talking about in the beginning where he's talking to Shelby, the guy, not the company, and he's like, "Look, you got to have drivers that can do this and last the endurance, but the car's got to last the whole darn thing. You need brake pads, you need tires, the engine can't warp, but he's going through it all. It can't blow up. It's going to have all these things. So you're racing the same car, and at the end scene of the race, I'm not spoiling anything, and a company could enter multiple vehicles. The entire Ford team is in first place. And the main character is number one. And then he slows down for the other Ford guys to come in because the owner of Ford at the time wanted them to all finish the finish line at the same time. And what I noticed is, okay, they take these cars off the boat or whatever. They're brand new and shiny. By the end of the race, they're all tatted up, not tatted up. They're messed up and dirty and grimy and kind of dinged up. That's what it's like. It's like you do this long ass race and you're tired, man. You're beat. You're burned out. And you need to go back into the mechanic shop and get an overhaul done. So again, I think a lot of rest and relaxation is what's required.
Well, me and my visitor, the GF,
Mhm.
like we were talking like you. I don't know if you realize this, but you seem a little more content. We watch your asshole consulting stuff still.
Yeah.
I'll go in there and occasionally troll the comments with them or try to
Mm.
call you when you're live to disturb you.
Did you cry? You have?
I haven't done it yet, but
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I don't remember getting a call from you.
soon. So I don't know. You do sort of have an aura, if that makes sense. Of
Yeah.
you're definitely a little.
I'm more calm.
You're a little more zen. You're a little more calm. And I want you to be happy. We all want you to be happy. We don't want you to lose your edge, though, because your edge is what got you to
I
this level
know.
in the first
I
place.
had the great one over here yesterday.
Yes.
He came
Yeah.
over for dinner. Yeah. No, 2 days ago. So, and we're talking about his podcast. And I said, I listen to his podcast because it's good and all that.
I do
But I
too.
really miss it when he was in Fort Collins because he was in such pain and he was so angry it made the podcast. And now things are going really well for him. He's like, yeah, so I showed up at work and everything was fine. It's like, there's no sucky work stories. Your job is going great. This sucks. I don't want to. And he's like, oh, I'm shooting. He did a podcast where he was shooting guns
I
while
heard it.
doing
I
it.
was in
It's
Oregon running
good.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good effect. And he's not angry. He's just loading up his gun. And he gets a little upset about the girls or the politics. But I'm like, man, I really like Tortured Great One. And now you got to listen to his archives if you want to listen to Tortured Great One. But I will not lose my edge. I'm getting full night's rest. I don't drink anymore, so there's no
That's right.
hangovers. What else? Yeah, just playing video games and chilling out. I haven't felt different. I feel calmer, but didn't necessarily see it in the behavior. But yeah, I'm more relaxed. But if you want, I could curse more or something or raise my fist.
We were just making the observation. We're like, he really seems like he's reached a point of contentment, if that's
Mhm.
possible.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
House is done. It's done. I put up some blinds downstairs. The artwork is done. That's a huge thing. Like literally everything is done.
Mhm.
I guess there's always something, but my solar panels are installed, so I got to put a retaining wall up. So that's like the big project. We got to design the walk-in closet for shelving, but the GF has to go through her clothes for that. So that's not crisis or anything.
Mhm.
And then, because I keep getting moths and wasps into my house, they're coming through the chimney, right?
Yes.
So I have custom made a chimney cap that will go over it. I'm going to bolt down to the cap of the chimney, but the ironworks guys could only make a frame. They couldn't put the screen around it. So I got some metal screen and I designed a system where I'm bending it and anchoring it down with big, those lifting straps, the resistance bands.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got ones that go around it that have the right tension. So they hold it in place. Then I put these metal clamps around that. Had to special order them so that they're 56 inches in diameter. There was a fair amount of engineering that went into it. And when that's all done, but otherwise it's, there's nothing left to do. It's kind of weird. So now
It's got to be
sit on the
weird,
chairs.
man. I mean, you're
It
so
is.
used to working for everything that when you reach a point where there's not much else to do, I can imagine it can produce them.
I talked about it before because there was a time where I did have a lull, and I said it's like you're at this Gatling machine gun, just going like in Predator, and you're just mowing down the forest, and it's not like Jesse the Body Ventura doing it for a minute. You're like doing it for 25, 30 years. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, there's no forest left and everyone's dead. And all you know how to do is fire that gun. And it's just weird. It's just weird, but it is better because it's what it's like. This is exactly what it's like. You have your example of it. Maybe this will make more sense for more people. You ever see Castaway with Tom Hanks?
Yes, Wilson. Yes.
Where he gets discovered and then he put him at a hotel. Where does he sleep?
Didn't he? I hadn't seen it so long. Did he sleep on the floor?
He slept on the floor.
Because he was more comfortable there. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just the last time I had this leisure, I was a kid, so it's different. And for anyone out there, I'm sure there's a bunch of other people out there that got kind of go. And then the day will come. And this is why you can't retire. You'll die if you retire, like not work. But yeah, so the day's coming, you'll get to this finish line or this level, and you're going to have to change your mentality because your environment has changed. So it's a bit different. But yeah, it's weird. That's what it is.
Well, I have a quick story for you, and then I definitely have some, tax related stuff to talk about.
I love tax related stuff.
I know you do. You just love paying them early.
I love paying them early and not worrying about it.
So you're a big fan of Mr. Texas, right? You know Mr. Texas?
I know, of course, Mr. Texas. Yes, one of my favorite people in all of Texas, of course.
Mr. Texas, for those who don't know, is the GF's father, who I really like. The
candidate, yeah.
Like I just love hanging out. We like hanging out, which is quite a change from, I won't even go there, but quite a change from others in the past.
Mr. Cuddlewickums, yes.
Holy shit. I don't care if we just lost the monetization. So anyway, about a week ago, he calls me because he'll randomly call and I'll chat with him. He calls me and I'm like, "Oh, how you doing?" And he's like, "Hey, I'll try to do that. I have this high school buddy, and he was just telling me that he's looking for a new CPA to do his taxes." I can't do a good Texas accent, and I'm just like, "Well, I'm kind of full, but if he is a friend of yours, sure, well, I'll talk to him. Absolutely, send me his information. I'll give him a call." So he sent me his information over the weekend, and the GF arrives on Sunday. So yesterday, Monday, during the day, I gave him a call. I'm like, okay, I'll call Mr. Texas's friend. Nicest guy. He was driving to Houston. This person I called, he happened to be driving to Houston. His wife in the car. We were just chatting, getting to know each other. I was asking him a few questions about his tax situation, and he's kind of like, well, I have a few things here or there. Incredibly understated. The wife was acting like my mom, who was like, "Oh, where are you from? Where did you go to school? How do you know Mr. Texas's daughter?" Like stuff like that.
I'm on the phone trying to do some work, lady. Shut up. All right, go on.
And so, yeah, that was about a half-hour call, 35 minutes, and I got what I needed to. And I said to Mr. Texas's friend, I'm like, "Okay, here's my email address. If you wouldn't mind, please send me the return tonight. I'll have a look at it. I'll let you know if I'm able to work on it and everything." I want to stress before I tell you, the guy was so nonchalant about his entire situation. He's just like, yeah, things here, there, whatever. Just
probably makes multiple millions of dollars, I'd imagine.
A spoiler alert. I look at the return. I looked at it today. He sent it today, and I look at it. He texted me his social for the past. Dude. This guy makes millions, and I'm talking 1 year, 2020. I said millions. Okay, and I thought back to what Mr. Texas had told me about, his friend here. He's like, yeah, he does pretty well.
He does okay.
He does all right. He could just use it. Clary, I've never, ever, ever had a client that made this much money. It's not even close. But what struck me about it was how, most people I've talked to who even make anything not even close to this, they're arrogant. And they're like, this, and this. This dude was chill, respectful, I'm blown away by it.
Didn't I send you a video of that exact same thing? There was that actor. He says it's the rich client and the really rich client, and how they treat the CPA. Explain that to you. Yeah.
So the rich client is still a little bit on the they think they're self-important, right? Like
they make $101,000 a year.
It's basically the difference between rich and actually rich, because the people that think they're rich, they have this air of entitlement. They're kind of like, well, now that I've made it, I'm going to be demanding, and I'm going to really be scrutinizing you and everything. It's the Warren Buffetts. It's the people that have really made it.
Yeah, they had nothing to prove, man, because they know what they got in the bank.
Exactly. You can
Mhm.
those make frankly, I've never had one. This is going to be my first one.
Well, you know what? Cherish him. And let me tell you why. Because in my 15 years of banking, I met two
Just
legit
two?
rich. Yeah. And it was the same thing. Every insolvent, and that's what they were. They had more debts than liabilities. They had a negative net value. Every insolvent douchebag that came into my office, that came in with a luxury car, they were all insolvent or bordering on insolvency.
Mm-hmm.
They would be dressed in this. Everyone they talk about Zorba the Swede, legit a Swedish guy with a medallion, but he's tan. I don't know if you know what happens to Swedish people when they tan. They get bleach white blonde hair, and they get a really mafioso Italian brown tan, and they look weird. And he
Yeah.
had the medallion, and I'm like, his name wasn't Svendinson, but it was like Svendinson. I'm like, and then you look at his tax returns, rather, he didn't make any money. There was a shoe owner. He owned a shoe company. He showed up in a Ford Ranger used. He was a multimillionaire. And the other one, I want to say, was a dentist and ran a couple things.
Yeah.
And the cars, you wouldn't know. But I'll tell you this, when I pulled their credit reports, those cars didn't have loans on them, and they barely had any debt. And I'm a lot of times like, well, what are you coming to us for? You got, $5 million in cash or liquid assets sitting in the bank. What do you need? Oh, I want to get this for that. Like, okay, let me approve you right now. And, but yeah, it is exceptionally rare you see action, which should be some advice to the girls out there, because I know you girls want to find a rich guy. You wouldn't be able to identify a genuinely rich man if he was standing in front of you.
Yes.
Real rich men hide their wealth because they don't, one, they don't want to get sued. Two, they make the money. And three, they didn't become rich doing like, yo, bro, check it out. That kind of thing. They don't flash it. They make their money, boring things you can find sexy. And then how they really get rich? They save their freaking money.
Yes.
They don't blow it away on stuff. But that's, you could try and tell young girls that. But yeah, ladies, if you're a little bit older, you're looking for a well-to-do guy, first thing to do is like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a CPA. That's good. That guy's making more than, oh, I'm a sales executive, bro, or whatever else that I'm an account executive, whatever. No, it's a dentist. Dentists make good money. You want to go with a dentist. But yeah, that's nice to hear that you got yourself your first genuinely rich client.
But the thing is, he knows how to conduct his communication with somebody. It's a little bit hard to explain, but the people who are they're posers, you kind of know when you're talking to them because they're trying to be all like broy about it.
They're trying to impress you instead of get their
Yeah.
taxes done. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'll get into this a little bit later. I'm getting a lot of, you don't even know this. I'm getting a lot of emails lately, people wanting to enter my field. And that is one thing I've been telling them is like, there's a big difference between people who act like they have a lot of money and people who actually do have a lot of money.
How far along are you in developing the outline to put together a teachable class for this class that would answer that you could make an incredible amount of profit off of?
I hate telling you that you're right because you get a big ego about this.
I just know what my work ethic is. There is an advantage to getting. Let me tell you a quick story. By the time Donovan Sharp told me about Teachable, do you know how long it was before I had my class up and running?
God, I mean, it couldn't have been that long, right?
5 days.
5 days.
Did I tell you how long it took me to go from I'm going to put together Asshole Consulting to the time the website was up and running?
5 days.
One security shift.
Oh, really?
16-hour shift, but it was one security shift. I had it all up and running.
Because you did it all yourself.
Because I want to have it done. Yeah. All right. So you have yet to put together an outline for this incredibly profitable class that there is obvious demand for.
Well, let me say this: like the class, and we had talked about this, and you'd give me the suggestion. it was supposed to be, we had talked about how to become a CPA, how to learn about accounting, tax prep, and
Mhm.
everything. At this point, I think the class that I would put together is how to become a tax professional.
Okay.
Because you have to understand, people fall into two camps in this. Either you're young enough where you can major in accounting and go the CPA route,
Right.
or you're on a different trajectory and you can go the EA route.
Okay.
The EA route is fan-fucking-tastic. And like I was telling you, I'm getting so many emails, and I've had a few sessions, sort of one-on-ones. And yes,
What?
I'm charging for them. I know you were
Right.
going to ask
Right.
that.
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah.
People need to understand, and this is the subject of what we're going to talk about regarding, the IRS. They're getting all this funding, and I have
I don't
things I
know what
want
they're
to
gonna
talk.
do with it, but okay. Yeah. Okay. They got
Right,
a
and
lot
we'll
of
talk
funding.
about
All right.
that.
Yeah.
I'm prepared in this show. Um, it like you guys, now is the freaking time to become a tax professional. Like now. And I'll get into
Hmm.
it a little bit later. You don't have to be a CPA. You don't need to have a college degree to do this.
Hmm.
So I'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, so back to what we were talking about, Teachable and Donovan and you and everything.
How about this? would you like to ensure you make headway and progress by next week?
Well, I do have a visitor, but sure, talk to me.
Oh, well, when does your visitor leave?
In another week. We got her here a while,
Oh,
so
okay. All right. Well, okay. In 2 weeks' time, you have an account at Teachable, you have an outline, and you and I are going over it to make sure there's other thing on it, or you owe me $100.
I know you hate excuses.
Yeah.
Let me at least
You got to
give you
visit
my
your mom or what?
okay.
No.
We got. Let me pay Clary a compliment and then educate him. And not educate him, remind him a little bit.
No.
Not everybody gets me their S corp. When are S corp tax returns due, Clary?
They are due March 15th.
What's 6 months from March 15th?
Oh, that's right. It is there. Oh, yeah, we can't do that. Oh,
Well,
all right.
no, I don't like the word can't. I'm not saying yeah.
Yeah, but you're going to be busy again. Yeah, you're right. It's coming up.
But I like what you're doing here because probably in a month or two, not after she leaves, but in a month or two, I'll bet you can hold me to that. Because once I get through the extenders deadline and everything,
Well, yeah, let's wait till extensions are done and all that, because you know what? You don't know what's going to happen. Say Mr. Daddy Warbucks over there, you do whatever accounting work or tax work you got to do for him. He's like, "Oh, I got a project I needed to work on," and he gives you an offer you can't refuse. I mean, you don't know where. But
exactly.
let's wait till after extension season, and then we'll do our bet. But yeah, you should definitely. You are 100% right, Chad. Because I get all the emails too. I mean, heck, when you were on my show, you saw all the people ask you questions about
Yeah.
careers in accounting. I think you should expand it a little bit, a career in accounting, and or maybe it's a little bit more logical to break it up into components. But there is a huge demand, and dude, you would be helping out so many kids,
Yes.
young adults,
Yes.
to just make money and not end up like millennials with debt and living at home at 40. And so, yeah, there's a great demand for it. I just,
Yes.
make sure you do it before somebody else does. Although you got the marketing and the advertising arm, so I would probably do it sooner than later, though.
And the reason I know this would probably be a success on Teachable is because I'm getting more and more requests. It's one thing if you get requests from viewers or whatever, like for different
Mhm.
topics. Almost everything I've gotten in the last few weeks has been like, here's my
Career
situation.
related. Yeah.
Yes, how can I become either an EA or CPA? Like, tell me how to do what you do. This is why I think Donovan is a wise man, and of course he brought you. I think you guys are right. I think like a course.
Look,
Yeah.
here's what it is. No one is raising the children. No one's parenting, and the teachers are grooming. That's all they're doing, and
Yeah.
indoctrinating kids into Marxist socialism and just babysitting you. No one is teaching the young kids or young adults how to succeed in life. And then they wallow a little bit, or they go on the internet and say, "Oh my God, I'm not learning anything in school. Maybe the internet is," and now they're coming out and like, "What do I do?" And not a single person in their life has been able to tell them correctly. That's how bad it is. And so if you can help them, and by the way, you charge them $400 or whatever it is, because the colleges are going to charge them way more, and you're going to help them avoid going to college for worthless stuff. So, I mean, yes, this is important. It's a win-win-win all around, because you make money, they get a good career, they save money, and I get a commission because you're going to give me an affiliate link, right?
Of course.
Right. And that's as long as we got that, it's important.
Most of these kids, and you'll love this next comment, most of these kids don't even need to go to college to do this.
Awesome. Even better. Even better. Yeah.
So what we're going to do is super chat time.
Let's go to super chat.
Yes, I'd like you to read the super chats, please.
All right, let me scroll up. I don't know if I can click on them here. Did you
No,
get
I'm
a $50
clicking.
one? You got a $50 one. Why do you always get 50? Oh, hat and clogs, you traitor.
Yeah, well, he knew you were coming. Hat and Clogs knew you were coming on, and well, you and Jack Napier got a $100 one.
Yeah, which he had to share with me, which felt great. That was good. that was very nice. I like that. But okay, all right. Eric Burns Marsh for $2. What happened to Monica? Who's Monica?
Monica was the client of mine who was a cam girl.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'll tell you all what happened to Monica. Monica actually had an amazing time, and she told me, she kept texting me like, that was so much fun. I want to do that.
It was
again.
A good show. I saw it. Very well done. Yeah.
Thank you. She really enjoyed it. So with Monica, if you guys, I may bring her on again, just because she really enjoyed it, and you guys seem to like having her. So we may see Monica again.
Cool. Nothing bad happened to her,
no,
right?
No, not
like
at
she didn't end
all.
up in the hospital.
No.
Taboo Smash for $5. I have a question about finding a job as a bookkeeper. Do you only need to know QuickBooks, or do you need to know Excel? Can you find a remote job?
At this point, bookkeeping is about 100% remote. And it was like that basically before COVID. But now that we've had COVID, there's bookkeepers that people have never even met that like they've been working on for years. Coincidentally, we're having lunch with my bookkeeper tomorrow, and I'm bringing the GF, and that'll be a funny experience. But anyway, do you need to know QuickBooks? Well, the answer to both is yes. If you don't know Excel, frankly, you shouldn't be a bookkeeper, because you need to get into the 21st century. And if you don't know how to use QuickBooks, most people are using QuickBooks Online, guys. Now, QuickBooks is owned by Intuit, which also does TurboTax. I know you know that. I don't like Intuit or TurboTax, or frankly QuickBooks, but that's the main thing right now. That's what most small businesses are starting to use, or they're already using it. So unfortunately, I would recommend getting QuickBooks proficient, if not certified, if you want to be a bookkeeper. However, you do not need to go to college. You do not need a degree. You don't need to do any of that shit. You just need to be competent at what you do.
You could, I think, also in Teachable, because there'll be the career aspect. But if you just did the basics of the accounting cycle and the basics of bookkeeping, I mean, you could have a suite of classes that would be very well attended, and I think you'd be the one-stop shop, and then all these kids don't have to go to college, and they can, get jobs paying $25-$30 an hour, before they're 20.
I want you to read the name of this
Ass Bucket for $2 generous dollars. One for Cappy, one for Chad. What are you going to do with your 60 cents? Because Google takes 30 cents of each of our dollars. What are you going to do with your 60 cents?
I guess I'll buy a sparkling ice coconut flavor, because you like that, the GF likes it, and I like it. So.
Yeah, they're good, those ice. I think I'm going to get 60 gumballs.
60 gumballs?
Yeah, the penny gumballs. I don't think they have those machines anymore. I don't think they're profitable anymore.
They do have them, because the last one I saw, it said sports ball on the top of it, and it was like
Was it for a penny though?
Oh, it wasn't for a penny, no.
Yeah,
you're
remember
right.
when
that was
kids,
for a
you
quarter.
could get a penny. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
If you were smart, you wouldn't take a quarter and get the one big gumball for 25 cents. You get 25 little ones, which would have been practically a bag of gumballs if you were smart about it. Did you know, Matt, for $5 Canadian, what would it take for you guys to leave America? What would be the breaking point? I think more Canadians have reached that point. A plan A, I think it meant a plan B is a must.
Yeah, I feel like this is, I don't have any need or want to leave America, but you discussed.
I have, the breaking point actually is not financial for me. It really isn't, because I'm a minimalist of the money thing. It perturbs me. 40% of my, 30% of my money goes to lazy parasites who don't want to work. 10% of it actually goes to government, for government services. But for me, I think it's actually going to be the mental health of the American public. Like just recently, the Minneapolis Teachers Union approved a thing where white people get fired first. Right. Just as an example. And if you guys didn't know, Minnesota is predominantly white, but it's a group of self-loathing, self-hating Scandinavian immigrants, essentially, if you need to know. I'm sick and tired of fat chicks. I'm sick and tired of fat guys. I'm sick and tired of people wearing pajamas out in public. I'm sick and tired of people putting their traits they were born with or made up as the number one thing in their lives, and everyone acting like victims. That's what's going to drive me out, where I have to endure and suffer these fools and say, oh, you're brave and amazing because you lick that type of genitalia. No, I don't care. I'm not, I don't hate you because you lick that. I'm happy for you. Good for you. But I'm not, applauding you. And also just where we celebrate different months for different people, all for the painfully obvious reason they're marketing to you and trying to take your money.
June.
Well, and it doesn't matter. Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'm done with it. I don't want to. I never liked Americans. I looked at this in the past before, like in high school and grade school. I hated most of those people. Most of those people I went to school with were dicks. By the way, Republicans and white people disproportionately, obviously. Wisconsin, mostly white people again. It has nothing to do with your race or your political affiliation. Most people in America are dicks. Yeah. And most people are now becoming mentally ill dicks. And I don't want to have anything to do with you people. So while you're more obsessed about, whatever, that you're an environmentalist, while you can't get the roads repaired, I'm going to be off in a more stable country. So it's not this is the point, this is the line, I will go no further. It's just the slow, at what point does the cancer kill the patient? Kind of thing. It's a slower. So I'm going to have my little life raft set up and ready to go. And I would imagine, I don't know, where you'd get, I guess, a hardcore communist like an Ocasio-Cortez or Ilhan Omar in as the president. I'd be like, yeah, I'm done. Even if like a Nancy Pelosi was to be, I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this.
But you at least feel less like this since leaving Minnesota, right?
Yes.
Has it?
Yeah, your local environment is the number one determinant. Like the number one determining thing of your happiness is your social group, your familial group, who you surround yourself by. Then it's your immediate community. And I have my complaints about the who dang digglies out here in South Dakota. Everyone is fat. Everyone is pretty disgusting looking. A lot of people on welfare, unprofessional, lazy, slow, but they're better than the Minneapolitans, where I was just there not long ago and everyone's still wearing a mask. Not everyone, but I'm like, what are you doing? And not old people, which I understand, but young kids, like, what are you doing?
They're doing it here too.
Yeah. And it's like, it's way better. It's way better than the Twin Cities, but things are better here. Less traffic too, which, but that's controlling your immediate environment. Then at a federal level, like they'd have, we're confiscating your guns. That'd be one. Mm-hmm. That'd be like, no, you're not taking my guns. You're just not. So, hand clogs the trader for $50. He only gives me $2 a shot. That's all right. That's fine. So if I win $100 million in the lottery, cashed out, how much taxes would I have to pay? And would I have to pay taxes again on income taxes? That rolled in when they take their cut. Oh, hi, Cappy.
He gave you a shout out.
He did. Well, if you win $100 million, that's amortized over what, 30 years?
Yes. And I'm glad he asked this question, because did you know that this was only a week or two ago, probably about 2 weeks ago, the Powerball pot had reached over $1 billion. Did you know that? And they sold the winning ticket to a guy in the Chicago area.
One guy.
One freaking
One guy. Okay, he got it all. All right.
Near the airport. Mm. Get this. Out of $1.28 billion, how much do you think he got after taxes?
He took the lump sum payment up front?
Yes, he did. And you're going to be a little bit shocked about what he got.
Well, okay, 1.28 million? A billion?
That's the gross. Yeah, that's the what.
That's a gross. All right. So half of it is eliminated because you're taking the lump sum, and I'm going to assume another half in taxes. So you got a quarter. So that's 250 million. I'm going to say 300 million.
So he did a little bit better than that, but it's still a shot. It's like a third. He got 433.7 million after winning 1.28 billion. You're right. Some of that's because of the lump sum, but I mean, that is a shitload of taxes to pay on money that's yours. That's like,
yeah.
So to answer Hat and Clog's
you
question,
do live in Chicago, right? You do see all the parasites everyone else has to support.
Oh my God,
okay.
yes.
All right.
So do you happen to know where Hat and Clog's, or maybe you can't
I do know where he lives, yes.
But you can't say, can you?
I can't say. No, he would not want that.
Is it a state with an income tax?
It is a state with a very low income tax, yes.
Okay. Hat and Clogs, I'm going to assume that you take the lump sum just for purposes of this discussion. You have a low, obviously the feds get theirs, low income tax, which is not the case in my state, 100 million. I think you would probably get about 48 million of that would be my guess. If you really do live in a low tax state. So,
I would move states, frankly. If it netted me a couple million, I'd be like, no, I'm moving out of California or whatever. I'm like, hang on, let me change residency. All right, now sending me my check.
Exactly. Well, quick aside for you, like if you won the lottery, now we know you don't have where you live, there's no state income tax. So
there's no state income tax. Yeah.
If you won the lottery, knowing that life can be short, would you be willing to forego a sizable chunk just to get the money now, even if you would lose out on the? Yeah, because you don't know if you'll get hit by a bus, right? Like,
well, no, it's not even that. It's inflation, because it's going to be a fixed payment 30 years out. Well, with Biden and Trump in the gang, all these boomers like print off money. That's the solution. A $15 million payout 20 years from now would have the purchasing power of maybe $250,000. I would take it all now, invest it into hard assets, so it would be at least somewhat hedged against inflation. And then also philosophical things like, I might get hit by a bus. I want to help out people now. I want to, I don't know, play wicked practical jokes on our dentist buddy. Like, buying out his building, but not telling him I own it, and doing weird stuff and make it seem like it's haunted, So I would want the money now.
Call it about half of what you'd normally get, Hat and Clogs. Again, depending on what state you live in. Who's this?
Chris is this is the tornado chasing kid for $2. When is the great one coming on the show, Chad? I don't think he's a YouTube. Yeah, he's not. He has a YouTube channel. Search Cynical Libertarian Society. He does a lot of video game playing. But he'll behave on your channel, no doubt about it. But just, do keep in mind he uses somewhat banned language. And I don't mean that by social media. I mean, like, you shouldn't use that word to describe a group of people, probably. He's a friend. We disagree on something. I think he's a great dude. We disagree, but unlike a lot of people, I can still be friends with people I disagree with. So,
before you read this one, Mark Rushton, I had a consultation with him several months ago. This is a great guy, and he's very successful, and he's now going to be a client of mine, and I got him through you. So this is a good dude.
I'm one hell of a person to have as a friend. I am. Boy, look at me. I get you the women, I get you the clients, I get you the podcast. Boy, I'm the Midas touch man. Holy cow. IRS had my amended return for 44 weeks. I'm owed a refund. You can't call any office. All the 800 numbers they provide are dead ends.
So, Mark, this is what we're going to get to after we get through these super chats and take a quick break. The IRS is about to hire 87,000. Employees, not agents, employees. Okay, I'm going to talk about this. All right. Yeah, there's some misinformation out there, so we'll talk about that. It's really bad right now. Don't even try to get through. We have a dedicated line for practitioners, the practitioner priority line. Even we can't get through. So you're not alone. Even
they're understaffed, is what it is.
Yes,
and I think I would. It's an accurate statement for this show. We're actually somewhat sympathetic with the working men and women of the IRS commissioner who opens his mouth, but the people who got to deal with this. We feel kind of like they're under siege, is what they are.
I've got some things to talk. There's a lot of misconceptions, and we'll talk
Okay,
about
well,
those.
we'll
Yeah.
get to that. Oh God, do you know the other Marcus Brown is 6'3"?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, he's
So
about a
that's
foot taller than.
that's where Marcus Brown the first, that's all his height went to Marcus Brown the second. He stole Marcus's Brown first's height.
Hey, real quick, how's he doing? He looked like he was doing really well.
He's doing very well. I'll tell you later, not on
Yeah,
the thing,
sure.
but yeah, no, he's regular old Marcus, oh, hey, Captain, how you doing? All right. And like, he's like, oh, so does my friend call you Mr. Clary? I'm like, what the hell? No. But he's like real polite and everything. So yeah, he's the same. He's
He's a great dude.
El Jefe, $15 just jumped over from Pop and Blake. Aaron, I'm the finance professor that you addressed today. Oh, very interesting. Short thing. I'm building my own thing to be able to work from the tropics, F the schools. This guy is a finance professor. He's teaching his last class. He wanted to know how I would teach a class on banking. And so I told him how I would do it. And then I got the idea and I emailed him like, hey, wait a minute. If you do this right, you should film it and put it up on YouTube because it would be very good. It would be incredibly helpful and it could probably go viral as well. So if he's going to put the effort into it, he might as well just record it.
And you did a video for him today, or?
Yeah. If you want, you go to my channel and see like if Cappy taught a finance class or something like that. So it's one of the more recent ones. Igor Seguda, $5. Oh, 6,000 of federal taxes, already paid 1,600 Illinois. How to keep motivation for the pursuit of excellence going?
Igor, I don't know, because living in Illinois can be quite demotivating.
I would move out of Illinois or certainly move out of Chicago.
Well, I'm hoping you're self-employed, and that's why this happened. If you're not self-employed, then something's wrong at your place of employment for you to owe this much. But
yeah, that's right. They should be squirreling away that form. Right.
Igor, if you have a situation that seems odd to you, send me an email because that is a little interesting. And Igor again for $5. Thoughts on the rise of the lonely single men article? Do you see the GDP to drop further? How will the government respond? You did a video on that, didn't you?
The lonely single men?
Maybe I thought I watched some YouTube video. Maybe it was better.
People sent me the article. Is that Psychology Today?
Yeah.
I don't know. Where's that article been the past 15 years? Where I think it's kind of outdated. And then, I do remember his solution was men had to work more, right?
I think so. I didn't read the article. I just saw some video on it.
I remember it. Igor. Okay, so the guy who wrote it is a no-name psychologist with a just recently made podcast where they help out Loveline. Hey, it's crazy. And okay, he's a psychologist, so he's fraudulent. And then his solution is that it's still worth it, guys. You just got to work more. To which whoever Mr. Nobody is, I dare you to read the book of Numbers and you tell your clients that. Yeah, I did read that. And he's not wrong. It's kind of like Powell in Die Hard, like, welcome to the party, pal. Where have you been? And let me guess. The solution is men shouldn't give it. Hey, I got an idea. How about women get thin and be nice and show up for dates when they say they're going to show? How about that? Or women just give a guy a shot. How about that, Doc? So yeah, I read that. Do you see GDP dropping further? Yes, I do. How will the government respond? Printing off more money and more stimulus checks. The
article came out a week ago, so it's been out a while. Dre.
Yeah. Nonstop Dre 5. See, he gives you 5. I get 2. This is okay. Nonstop Dre, another trader. Giga value accounting with Chad Elkins with stoic manlet Cappy. Is not just losing his angry edge, but his height. That's why he's 5'2" and still shrinking. I gave up the booze. You give up drinking, you start shrinking. That's the deal.
I'll drink to that.
Stoic manlet.
Next one here.
Dre, by the way, when you settling down, let us know when you get a place and you're moved permanently and you're going to school. Because I'm gonna probably do a little bit of traveling down south during wintertime. It would be nice to meet Dre, especially if he's down in the Texas area.
Dre, we may be in the same spot, so let me know.
Yeah. So it'd be good to. It's good to meet people on the internet, but you also want to meet people in person. Sam
Right.
Whiskey, the most American name in America, for $10. Hey, Vlad, what are your thoughts on the IRS hiring armed agents?
Sam, hold on to your butt there because I got plenty to say about
May,
this.
may I point out, they already have an armed division, right?
Yes, Treasury agents are already
Yeah.
armed. They train, in Brunswick, Georgia, where the ATF people, a lot of people, they all train in the
I
same
bet you the
place.
Postal Service and all the other, a lot of
Yes,
people don't
postal
realize
inspectors
a
train
lot
there
of
too.
federal agent, the OCC, the Department of Treasury, a lot of these federal things have an investigative division
Yes.
where they have officers with arresting powers. Yeah, they're going after bad guys. Yeah.
There's things I want to clear up. There's honestly a lot of misconceptions about what's going on. So
Yeah.
we'll get to that.
Okay. Nonstop Dre, $2, Masters Accounting with Chad Elkins teachable class.
I will make this career oriented because we don't want to worry about education here. I've got lots to inform people about with
Mhm.
that. Scrolling down.
R2 Deepu, $10, was at a family party recently. My uncle's own words about his two 30-plus unmarried daughters. I didn't tell these girls a thing. I pretended I was surprised.
Yeah, obviously neither of us are parents, but for people that have daughters, I'm just like, just make sure they know not to become bitter, not to become overweight, and not to become unpleasant to be around. Is
I
there anything more than that?
don't major in dumb crap and don't bring debt to a relationship. Like if you are a medical doctor, okay, fine, you're gonna have debt, or a dentist. I got it. No, but you could tell them, you know what? I did the numbers. Do you know how much more time your kids spend with teachers than they do with their own parents?
God, probably 300% more.
Three times. Yep, three
Three
times more.
times. Yeah.
These kids, especially the girls, look, unless you sit your daughter down and you really invest them as a father and say, look, you're going to be lied to in school, or here's an idea. How about you don't send your kids to the public schools and you homeschool them? How about that? Okay. You didn't tell them a thing. Well, okay. You didn't tell them. Fine. But even if he did tell them a thing, if you still send them out to the public schools and you don't say, look, they're going to lie to you and tell you that the hatred of men is cool and edgy and that's your value in life, they're going to go for it. They're going to fall for this indoctrination. I can't mention who, through people I know, a white guy who has a black wife. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously not racist. He has two daughters, obviously mixed race. The daughters went off to school. Now he's the white devil.
Really?
Unless their own damn dad, who obviously has no problems with minority races, or at least the black race,
Right.
or women, let alone. How does that guy feel? His daughters, just abandon him for a political ideology of hatred and envy? Their dad. Guys, you gotta look. I know the majority of parents in America don't love their children. I know you love your career and your SUV and your master's degrees more. But for those of you who actually give a damn about your daughters in this case, and you want them to be happy, tell them, look, if you want to get married, you're going to have to stay thin. You're going to have to be pretty. You're going to have to be nice. And you're unfortunately going to also have to kind of carry your weight until you find the right guy. But yeah, that's what I would tell the daughters. But you got to keep them out of the public schools.
Yeah.
You got to keep them out of the private schools or invest in them. So if they do go to the school, you say, look, that's bullshit. And that's not how it works, but I don't know. I don't have kids. Because apparently I love them enough to know that I wouldn't raise them correctly, unlike every other American alive today who just has kids anyway, but doesn't raise them worth a damn.
Right.
Nonstop Dre, $2. Cappy's affiliate code, Shorters Carlson alumni. He's the one that put the Wikipedia entry in. I know he is. Did you know, man, 5 Canadian bucks? Why don't agents in the field go abroad to more traditional cultures, nuclear family, and even see Aaron's buddy Troy Francis for help? Go Troy or go home. Yeah. RealTroyFrancis.com. I don't know why. There's drawbacks to going overseas if you want to find a traditional gal, but
Well, it's the old Roosh V thing, but I guess that was more for fornication instead of settling down.
Yeah. No, you're still going to have to go to a traditional culture. I don't want to say Asia or this, a traditional culture. That's where you're going to have to go.
Listen, you guys, a traditional culture could just be another state. Like for me, Texas. So keep that in mind.
I hate to pay the candidate a compliment. She's exceptionally rare, and she had a good father.
She has
Right?
an excellent father.
It is, in spite of America's culture, she exists. So,
and she's beautiful and
she's very
listening.
pretty. Yeah, I know. We'll tell when we get off air. We'll tell how really ugly she is. Yeah. Sam Whiskey. It's just a cow. You saw American Beauty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he was going to, well, they were getting intimate.
Oh, you're going to spill the beer.
Yeah. God, I could never be married to someone like Annette Bening's character in that. God,
no
that
one
was
could.
like Cuddleworks.
Oh, Cuddleworks was worse, but it was pretty bad. Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field for $5. Here's my next plan to become an armed IRS agent. Don't worry, guys. I'll leak the info when I'm coming to get you. I expect $1,000 in bribes. Smiley face, beer, Mexican American poops, laughy face.
You guys will talk about this. We will after the break. Okay.
He'd take a pay cut if he became an agent.
I was gonna say you don't want to do this, Alex.
You could do better than this. Adrian Paul, $2 catching you all live. Cheers, Vlad and Cappy. See, that was a nice compliment. That was nice.
A very nice compliment.
Very nice.
And he and I had a session, a consultation session a week ago. And he
okay, good.
Yeah.
I like the lack of short jokes. That was very nice. Rusty's Fuel, $5. I already missed the cam curl.
Yeah, I didn't know how successful that would be, but we got some good feedback. So
I'll talk to you after the thing.
Yeah.
Eric Burns Marsh, $5. USDA recently bought hundreds of 40 caliber submachine guns. If GMOs don't get you, they have a plan B. I don't know. Maybe they're shooting up cows or something. I have no idea.
Well, the IRS did this too. We'll talk about this.
All right, we'll talk about it later.
Stuff.
A lot of stuff going on.
Clarity.
Look at, I know who this is. This is one of your own. I've never seen this guy. So for once you earned this one, $51. I'm 4 classes away from meeting the requirements to sit for the CPA. I currently work full time and can only take 2 classes per semester. Should I quit my job now and get an accounting job or wait till I finish the courses in a year? Greetings from San Diego. Hi, Cappy. Well, hi, LP the second.
Any initial thoughts before I...
4 classes away from meeting the requires to sit for the CPA. So he's got a ways to go to even sit.
Right.
Work full time, get 2 classes per semester. It depends what his job is.
That's what I was going to say. I wanted a little bit more. LP, because you were so generous, we'll follow up. If you can tell us a little bit more about what your current job is, I can give you a better answer. I always tell people you want to get the CPA for as quickly and as cheaply as possible, but you're in an interesting situation where you already have a full-time job. And it could be at an accounting firm.
Right. So, or it could be security. And what are you paid per hour? If you paid $50 an hour, I wouldn't be in too much of a rush to give up that job.
Give us a little more detail. We'll come back to this. Give us a little more detail. We'll give you a better answer. We just need more detail. That is all the super chats. We're going to take a break. Cool. I'm going to use the bathroom, get another drink, and you can do whatever you want.
I'll promote my stuff. Let's
go for it.
Remove, for being a professional podcaster, remove his comment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not that we don't like LP. All right. The Elkins Accounting Hour is brought to you by all the stuff I did, which in no particular order. Bachelor Pad Economics. See, it's still related to accounting. It talks about going into accounting. It is accounting. And you can read that book. And if you read it and do everything that's in the book, you won't be poor. Unless you get hit by a truck. The Book of Numbers, analyzing the ROI and the pursuit of women. You could follow all the advice in the book I just threw down on the ground, but if you marry the wrong girl, you'll still be poor. So why don't you look at your statistical chances of success with women from an actuarial standpoint? Get the Book of Numbers, analyzing the ROI and the pursuit of women. It's not just a cost-benefit analysis. It is also a how-to, as the last chapter takes all the statistics from the first 11 chapters and says, all right, if we reverse engineer that, you can take these actions, drastically increase your chances. Curse of the high IQ. This is for everyone who tunes into the Elkins Accounting Hour because you guys are smart, and it sucks being smart in a world full of really freaking stupid people. That's probably a better book than I admit. Or more useful book, simply because people are getting so freaking stupid right now. It's hard being intelligent. Also related, Sanity is the Future of Wealth. This is a very short essay. This was a blog post and no one read it. So I turned it into a thing and charge money for it now. This is while you're surrounded by people who make up or claim that they're not straight so they can get attention and the world around you is going crazy. Do keep in mind all these liberals and leftists and socialists and communists are absolutely miserable. And as technology advances and makes things cheaper and cheaper, almost to the point that they're being free, if you just keep your act together and you don't claim to be someone who's not straight simply to be popular, you will find out that sanity is going to be the future form of wealth as we enter a post-scarcity world. Reconnaissance, man, for those of you like, I want to buy a house, hold it. Do you know where you want to buy a house? You say, Aaron, is that you looking like a badass with your motorcycle? You darn right it is. I'm only 5'9". This tells you where to go in the United States to travel and how to do so very efficiently and affordably. Figuring out where you want to live before you even go to college. Oh, wow, I haven't promoted Randy's book. The Pence Principle. This isn't mine. Lessons all men must learn from Ford Kavanaugh. Basically, how not to end up in jail on a false accusation. Worthless, the young person's indispensable guide to choosing the right major. If you have a young person about to go to college, please get them this book so that they don't piss away their money. I'm not going to say your money because none of you would be stupid enough to give your children money to go to college or co-sign loans, right? And Dr. David Perotin's book, The Velocity of Information. It is a real book written by a real author with a real PhD. He's the nicest guy ever. The Menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex. This is for Atham.
Oh, The Menu.
Yeah, The Menu.
Hold on, Claire. I'm going to read this in real fast.
Yeah.
Bacon, I shit you not. I've been trying to find how to do this. I've done I'm trying to get my picture. You know, when I turn off the camera.
Yeah.
I can't seem to find a way to make it. So
do I have that? No, I don't have it either. No.
But you never really turn off the camera, so
it's not vital. There's a lot of. I mean, you could literally spend an entire month optimizing everything. It's still not gonna.
All right.
You got more super chats while you were gone.
Let's go through those so we're fully caught up. I really do want to talk about this whole IRS hiring people thing. So El Jefe did not have a message after this one, but I'm going to look. A
woman that has sex and doesn't want to talk afterwards. Those are the greatest donations. That's wonderful. Starscream, 1540, $10. I looked at IRS site. Most jobs require a bachelor's degree. I don't have one. But I am studying for the enrolled agent test. Do you think that the IRS will drop the degree requirements? That's a good question.
Spoiler alert, they're going to have to. If they're on this hiring spree, and I'll talk about this, there's simply not enough applicants to get the numbers that they want.
That's 87,000. That's like a Fortune 500 company's number. I mean, that is a monster company. You just don't pick up 87,000 people like that. You know,
I have a lot to say about that.
Throw up El Jefe's here.
Okay.
For $15, Clary, I made your Behind the Housing Crash book the required reading for my. Oh, really? That's awesome. That's great. I won't charge $300 a textbook. I think it's $15. I'm also using Stigham's Money Market as a reference. Come heck or high water, I'll get the class recorded. Well, good for you. Just don't record any of the kids. I think as long as you're just recording yourself, you'll be all right. I think he'll be okay.
Thanks for the super chats, El Jefe. Clary, before I get started on this, just what do you know about what I'm about to talk about? This Inflation Reduction Act, where they're saying that, what do you know before?
I know nothing about it because I don't watch the news, but from what the memes are going around, which I know is not knowing what's in it, it sounds like this is a stimulus check, which is going to be financed with printed money, which means it's going to cause inflation. So it is the exact opposite of what the title it is claiming to be. But I don't know. I haven't read the bill or the act. So am I anywhere near close to it?
You're actually almost bullseye. How they can call this thing the Inflation Reduction Act, I don't understand, but that's the government.
Because they're Democrats and they don't understand economics. They literally think stimulus is going to have a Keynesian multiplier effect that's going to outstrip the amount of money they produced. But you got to tell them, look, Democrat politicians, please listen. I'm being serious as to why that multiplier effect won't work. You've raised a bunch of Democrats.
Yes.
They don't work and they have no skills. What are they going to produce? Diversity and inclusion whining seminars? What are they going to write? Children's books no one's going to buy? I'm sorry you trained all your acolytes and children to being whiners and parasites just like you. We need tradesmen and welders and manufacturers and boring stuff. I know, people who aren't going to save the world, but they might just save the economy.
Believe it or not, I'm actually going to be a little bit balanced with this because it'd be easy for me to be like, yeah, the Democrats did this.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's just me.
So, okay, let me just some quick background with this. You guys probably know all this. The Inflation Reduction Act included a proposal which is going to expand the IRS's funding by $80 billion over 10 years. Okay. Now, with that $80 billion figure, more than half, specifically $45 billion, is intended to help the agency crack down on tax evasion. That means they're going to use that to have more audits. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I've been wearing this defund the IRS shirt, for most of these, but I did that as a joke. The IRS does need funding. Okay. Now, let me give you a few more details about this. All right. You guys have seen the memes and you've seen, whatever sources you read. If it's our corner, you probably got the right side, which is like, they've got guns and they're going to come to your houses and they're going to, no.
The Fox News version, yeah.
Yes, do not, you guys don't pay attention to the Fox News.
Don't watch Fox News. Don't do it. No.
And this is coming from a guy who was stuck in Oregon in a household that wouldn't stop watching MSNBC all freaking week.
We got to talk to your dad, man. He's got to stop doing that. Life is too short for him to do that.
Clary, I'll talk to you offline about some things regarding.
You know what we should do? We should go old episodes of the Playboy Channel, and that's what your dad should watch. That's what your dad should watch.
God, I got out of there in the nick of time. Let's just leave it at that.
All right.
Anyway, listen. A few things. I know it's tempting to be like, oh, the IRS. Blah, blah, blah. Look, a lot of this is necessary, okay? And let me explain why. You've heard me complain about it. They are woefully understaffed. They're behind with processing paper and other correspondence returns by over a year and a half, okay? Mm-hmm. They need more funding. Despite me trying to be funny with this shirt, they need this funding, okay?
Do you guys want your tax refunds back?
Yes, that's a good way of framing
that's
it.
one. Yeah.
So one of the things, by the way, you're going to like this comment, Clary. Brian Kim, who is a Clear Value Tax, did a fantastic video about this. I know you say not to over prepare. I typed up a bunch of notes about this looking at. And Brian and I typed that up a few days ago. Brian had a video that came out yesterday, and he and I were lockstep. Like everything on my notes is exactly what he said. You guys, the IRS is not hiring 87,000 more agents. They're not doing that. What they're planning to do is hire 87,000 more employees. Staff.
Yes.
Okay. You have to have people who will answer the phone, process the paperwork just to get it into the right people's hands. We drastically need that right now. These are not auditors. These are not people with guns.
Could be a customer service rep.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
People in my profession have actually been begging for this. We need this. I don't like the Democrats any more than you guys do, but much of this is quite necessary. This doesn't mean I'm not entirely happy about this, and this is what I'm going to talk about, okay? So the good is that this is going to speed up return processing, okay? Another good, which is incredibly critical, we need technological updates. They're stuck with technology from 1987. This funding, yes. Wow. And remember, I've worked with, dude, it's horrible. They're using like Cobalt. I don't even think they make
Cobalt, Fortran, or Logan or something.
Yes. So
I don't envy them. I mean, I don't like the IRS, but man, I don't envy those guys. I do feel pity for them.
They're my natural adversary, and I'm sitting here defending them, you guys.
Yeah.
They need this, okay? So they're going to be doing this for technological updates. Another thing, Clara, you'll like this, even though it already exists. With this bill, there's some green energy credits. Now, Clara has some solar panels. There's going to be other stuff that they're implementing with this bill that's going to assist with things like that.
This year?
Well, this is next year, like whenever this thing gets implemented, probably 2023. Right. Not
darn it, I won't be able to do it then. All right.
We'll see about that.
All right. Well,
you got me.
You.
So now here's the thing. I'm gonna give you some numbers on this. The Senate, okay, consider the source. The Senate Democrats are projected that enhancing the IRS funding could add an extra $2.3 billion in federal revenue. So the idea is that they're
hold it. 2.3 billion or 2.3 trillion, and over what period of time? The budget was this thing was for 10 years, right?
Yes, it's 2.3 billion. It's billion over the next decade. So it is.
But it's going to cost them. It's going to cost them $8 billion for this thing.
80 billion.
80 billion to make 2 billion.
No. 203 billion.
203 billion.
So
okay. All right. Sorry. I was like, the numbers don't make sense on that. So
I might have misspoke. Yeah, I might have misspoke. But anyway, the idea is that their heart is in the right place, if not their head. They're using this to enforce more. And I'm going to talk about who this is going to come down on. Okay.
All right.
Hey, Atham. So that's what they're planning to do. And the one thing I want to mention with this, this is the positives. I'm about to get to the negatives, but I just want to say this because I'm getting so many people saying, should I get into this industry? Whatever. If you want to get into the tax preparation industry, this is good. When you have more audits, go ahead.
Is it not the best time right about now? They're all backed up. There's all the boomers retired. And now the IRS is hiring. I don't think it sounds any better than it is right now.
There's no better time to get in, you guys. And this is why if I did do like a course on this, I'm going to be like, you guys, you need to take this course now.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, it's going to make, CPAs, EAs, anyone who's in the tax preparation industry, it's going to make us, our careers even more secure. And we're going to be even more demand because there's going to be more audits theoretically, and there's going to be more need to protect yourself from these audits. So for those of you who want to get into a career with this bill is fantastic. Okay. It's great. And that's,
I have a question, Mr. Elkins.
Yeah,
Mr. Elkins, sure. I have a question. You said they should get into this field now.
Soon.
But ideally now or soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a course available now that they could take to help guide them into getting a career into this?
There's a teachable course, which I anticipate perhaps popping
available
up
soon.
Certainly. If I figure out how to do this, and I'll talk to you about it by the end of the year, if I can get this up, I think it would be very valuable. But
I'm thinking first thing after extension season, because you have extension corporate and extension personal, but you're not doing personal anymore, right?
October 16th, 2022, I'll be a free man until January.
All right. I say this should be up and running before Halloween.
Yeah. I'm inexperienced with this. This is where
I will help you.
Maybe Donovan
will help you.
Yeah,
not Donovan. Donovan got me in. He knows how to do the thing, but his filmography needs a little work. Like he could definitely hire Kevin Savo to do his film. I think for the later ones he did, but the first one was a little rough. But he made a lot of money. So
Donovan's got a gift. Okay. I've talked to you guys about the virtues of this. You know that there's a lot of bullshit going on with this too, and I need to discuss it. Okay. There's already an accountant shortage, Claire. You've heard me talk about that.
Yes.
People are not majoring in this. This is why the EAs
girls don't find it sexy.
This never got me laid. Trust me. Here's the thing. If you're gonna, they're not all going to be auditors, right? But if you're going to increase the employment, the force of people with the IRS, you're not going to find enough qualified people. Now, to be fair, and this is important, this is what's not in the articles, a lot of boomers are going to be retiring from the IRS in the next few years, in the decade, because they're eligible for retirement, and this is why they're doing this. The problem is, if you're going to conduct audits and you're with the IRS, you need to have experience auditing people. And this is where they're going to run into problems, because the people that are very good at auditing, the one thing about working for the federal government, and that was the first part of my career, you can get great benefits, sure, retirement, health insurance. You're not going to get great pay compared to what you can make in the private sector, either in public accounting, corporate accounting, or like what I do, running my own shop.
Mhm.
So if you have a dearth of people becoming accountants in undergrad, I don't really see how they're really going to be able to find enough people to fill a lot of these positions. They're not all auditors, but where are they going to find people for this?
I once again will point to the Democrat Party saying everyone can be a liberal arts major, and now that's biting them in the ass. I know you said not to be political, but it's
No,
true.
you can be political.
They're shorts. You didn't raise enough skilled, talented people for the past 2 generations. Sorry. So, yeah, the IRS. There's going to be a steep learning curve.
Shout out.
If only there was a generation that came after the boomers that was seasoned, experienced, galvanized, industrious, hardworking, and natural-born leaders that could maybe rise up to the occasion. But I don't know a generation like that.
Here's the problem, Clary. I was born literally in the last year of our generation. We're in the same generation, you and I.
Still not enough accountants.
Why would we want to work for the IRS? We can make so much more money either having, our own practices or even just defending people. And I'm going to get to this. I'm just not seeing how they're going to be able to fill these positions. There's no way. There's no fucking way.
87,000. I mean, it's not a steep order. It's an impossible order.
Mm-hmm.
And unless they were going to start like, hey, you know what? We need soldiers. What do? They got to draft any trained people. Unless the IRS wants to have a training program.
I was about to get to that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Here's the thing, and Brian Kim touched on this, and I had it in my notes. I'm not taking this from him. When you become an auditor with the IRS, by the way, there's a guy named Harvey Polanski who's a fan of ours who's in here.
Yeah,
I wish he was here for this. It would have been so cool.
He's the agent. Under the
I wish he was here for this. But anyway, they give you maybe like a 6 to 8 week training course. Clary, how many hours of tax accounting experience do you think I have?
You?
Me and people like me. Me and people like me.
Your age, I'm going to say 20,000.
Easily.
Yeah.
So if you've they're not going to be able to hire a lot of Gen Xers because we're making more money and doing better not working for the government. So they got to go young. Do you really think them hiring young people are going to be any match for people like me and Brian Kim when it comes to auditing?
No, they're not. And I feel bad for them. And here's the other thing, and maybe you guys already touched on this. You take these young kids and you throw them in the IRS. The tax code is way more complicated than it was 5 freaking short years ago.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and so it's again, I'm sorry, Democrats, we could replace this with a sales tax and the nightmare goes away, or you could just simplify the tax code a little bit. But we've talked about this before, like, how are they going to enforce it? They're not. The poor kids, young people who are hired as auditors are going to spend most of their time looking up code.
Correct.
Yeah.
And this is why, the knee-jerk reaction was like, oh my God, they're coming after us. I immediately thought, no, this is not, the numbers don't work for this. And there's a very, it's, as Jason Valdez said, this is an overestimate. The way it works with the government is you always request more budget than you can actually realistically get, because if you don't do that, they won't give it to you. It's a really disgusting parasitic system we have, as you're well aware. So anyway, that's the first thing. They're not going to be able to attract enough talented auditors, or at least experienced auditors. Here's something else I want to mention. I know you haven't been watching the news, but there's the Democrats are saying they're not going to audit people who make less than $400,000. So they're not going to up that.
Well, hold it. Okay, that's stupid. Why would you say that? Because now anyone who makes less than 400,000, like, I'm not paying right? Am I thinking?
Hold on.
Okay, all right.
That's not in the bill. The bill says nothing about income limits. All this, that $400,000 came from 2 things. One, Janet Yellen, who's the worst ever at anything, said,
she's pretty fat and ugly too,
and stupid. Inflation is temporary. She basically made a request to the commissioner of the IRS, who you've already heard me say is a complete fucking moron. I won't even say his name. Both of them requested that they not up their audit percentage for people making under $400,000.
Okay.
That's not in the bill. They're simply making a request. That doesn't mean they have to do it. Clary, let me ask you something. let's say, you know, the story I told you about Mr. Texas's friend, the one
Yeah.
that is very wealthy. Let's say he gets audited by the IRS.
Right.
What do you think he's going to do after he gets audited?
He's going to hire some very good CPAs to defend him and probably lower what he owes at minimum, but
Correct.
certainly drag things out for the IRS.
Yes.
Okay.
So let me a comment about that $400,000 thing. Do you really think rich people are in any danger here? If you're up to get audited,
unless you're one of these lucky flash in the pan types who don't know, like you get really lucky being a realtor or something like that, and you make that 400,000, but you're so new to this, you don't make your estimated payments. I could see those guys being in trouble. But if you're making north of 400,000, you know to pay your taxes and you know to pay them on time. What?
Not just that, dude.
You know?
Let's say that maybe there's a little questionable stuff here. If you have that much money, who are you going to hire to defend you against an audit?
A good CPA.
And a good tax attorney.
And a good tax attorney. Okay.
What did I just say about people who are the auditors are going to be green and inexperienced?
Yeah, they're going to be rookies compared to these veterans, right?
So do you really think and this was my logic, tell me if I'm missing something. Do you really think that they can realistically go after the rich with this?
Now here's where I will say they kind of should or have to. When I was in banking, I saw a ton of fraudulent stuff, like criminal tax evasion, although it wasn't even necessarily tax evasion. It was fraud. That's where the Postal Service and the other because in reality, they didn't make any money. They were just stealing it. So I could see where they need some of those people like going after, dubious, like, wait, really? Where did this money come from? That kind of thing. But no, if you're going after legit hardworking people who just happen to make a lot of money, you're not gonna squeeze a lot of blood out of that turnip.
Correct.
All right.
However, the whole and in the media again, MSNBC is saying one thing, Fox News is saying something else. What's going to happen is the way they're going to try to raise most of the money with audits and everything, is actually going to be the middle class and poorer. Why? Okay. Tell me why.
Because they're the ones that are making the mistakes or filing late and trying to maybe cheat, maybe not. I'm trying to think who was a world famous tax cheater, and not Capone because they just got him on that.
Wesley Snipes.
Was he really world? I know he's world famous. Was he? But was he really trying to steal a ton of money?
Because I was on that case, I can say at the end of the day, after multiple warnings, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I don't think it's going to be at that level, but yeah, they're gonna, and there's a lot more of them than there is rich people.
Here's the thing:
you get $10,000 a piece out of them. Yeah, it's going to add up.
You've never been audited, of course, right? You've never been.
No, audited. I haven't. No.
You guys need to understand what happens when you're audited. Actually, Claire, let me put it. I thought, okay, great analogy. I know you're not traveling a lot these days. You're not flying.
Right.
When you fly, you go through TSA, right?
Correct.
You got to go through that.
Yeah.
Have you ever been pulled aside or a bag of yours,
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah, they do the thing. Yeah.
So you step aside. It's like 2 minutes worth of stress, and then you're out of there, right?
Right.
When you're audited, even if you're 100% innocent, you have to hire a CPA and you have to hire, or, a tax attorney. You have to spend money to defend yourself against the IRS who's coming after you. It's guilty until proven innocent.
Right.
So the people that are going to get hurt are those making $75,000 or less AGI. And the IRS knows this because those are the types that can't afford to hire, CPAs and attorneys to defend them.
Okay.
So this is what I'm envisioning. I can't prove this. That's just what what's going to happen is a lot of people who don't even really owe taxes, or it's some kind of misunderstanding.
Or they cheated a little bit and they owe a couple hundred or something. Right. Okay.
They're just going to pay because they're like, you know what? I don't want to have to hire a lawyer. I don't want to have to hire a CPA. We just need this out of our life. My opinion is that this is what this is ultimately going to result in. And you can call that, I'm not siding with the Fox News people. Both are fucking insane.
Right.
but I can't see how this is going to affect rich people. Rich people can afford to fight back against these, you're not going to come up with experienced auditors to really go up against them. So it's going to be people that frankly don't have the means to really like defend themselves against this.
I hate to say it. Also, the rich people usually hire accountants and attorneys to make sure they're fine, and they're not really cheating. I mean, you might get the big Wesley Snipes fish, but most of them aren't cheating.
Correct.
Yeah, no, they're going to go. I guess they will. Why 75,000? Why not 100 or 125? By that time, you'd hire someone. And
usually, when you get to about the 6-figure AGI, you're at a point where you're going to hire a This is just my experience.
Yeah.
Like you're going to hire a professional to either prepare the tax return, or you're going to you have the means to hire a lawyer or something,
right?
Which you don't need to do. But so, despite the Democrats, saying, well, this isn't going to affect the poor, they're not going to go after them, it's all for people above 400,000. That's not what's going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
No. Not going to happen.
Oh, well, I'm glad I got you now that, I'm not yet at 75,000. Yeah, I got you. That's why I got nothing to worry about.
Even if you didn't have me, you have nothing to worry about.
Not with all this sweet super chat money coming in. I got nothing to worry about. It is like being a stripper. I do know what it's like being a stripper now. I just shake my butt here and you give me money. Okay.
So my prediction with this, this is not a political stream or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't see this standing up to the test of time with the whole decade. We're going to hire all these people. This is going to collapse because the numbers don't make sense to me. The practical matters don't make sense to me. It's not going to work.
I did the quick numbers. They're only paying like 51,000 on average per employee. If half that budget is for the 87,000, it's only 51,000 a year.
I was going to say, well, there was a question. I don't know if it was Super Chat. They're like, what does the IRS pay, starting? No. If it's not a lot, you guys, you can get more in corporate America or whatever. It's going to be hard for them to attract this type of talent. And despite the news media going, oh, the IRS ordered X amount of ammunition, because that was a question.
Hey, let's talk about the ammo next. I got a dumb question. It's the IRS, so it's government. Do you think they're going to dick around and waste their time with diversity and inclusion and Pride Week and all that? I mean, if they're that backed up, are they going to handicap themselves further, wasting time with that crap? And another question, I guess, if they're going, I didn't even think about this. Are they going to hire affirmative action hires? Like already these people are not going to. Yes. So you're going to have someone who's not qualified, who was just passed along and because of quotas for whatever various trade. So they're not only going to be inexperienced, they're going to be underqualified. And on top of it, they're potentially going to burden all these poor people with unnecessary training.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no. It's you've rendered that force not totally ineffective, but you've severely limited them and handicapped them. So
all this thing is going to do, assuming it even comes to fruition, it's going to make me richer. It's going to make the field better for people to get into. It's going to hurt the middle and lower classes because they're going to be the ones that are harassed because the rich can hire accountants and lawyers. This is not going to work out.
Oh, well. Too bad for them, I guess. Yeah, no, I'm tired as well. It's a sunny day. Yeah, that sucks. I still idealistically say, wouldn't a sales tax solve all this? But he's just an economist. So what about the bullets now? Explain that to other people, because I'm curious about your opinion, because I've seen it from a different angle. Explain why that's not a big concern or what it really is, because everyone thinks like they're going to arm and come shoot you at night.
That's not what's going on. Truthfully, you might actually know more about this than me. I don't know why they actually ordered that much ammo, but I do know it's not to arm the Treasury agents who are going to knock down your door. And this is just, the numbers aren't there. Logistically, that's not possible. Maybe it's just in the budget where they have to get, October 1st is when the new budgets come. They're probably just spending all their money before the budget runs out. I think
it's something even lamer than that. I think, when's the last time each division or department has their enforcement division or the police department? They need training When's the last time they shot their guns? Really? Like, remember we have a buddy who was in charge of the Chicago PD gun range?
Yes.
I mean, you gotta be throwing some lead down range and practice your marksmanship. And I'd imagine that how long have these guys, when's the last time they shot their gun?
It's been a long time because
It's been
they did it in
time.
training, but most IRS Treasury agents don't have to draw their weapon. It's not the FBI or DOJ.
Yeah. And I'd have to do the numbers like, okay, how many bullets is that per agent?
I mean,
yeah, I'm not worried about the U.S. Postal Service coming with me with a gun. I'm worried about the U.S. Army coming with me at a with a tank.
exactly.
That's what I'm more worried about. Yeah, so I would not worry too much about that. They've had these armed officers for the longest of time. It's not new. And IRS agents do need arresting powers. I mean, wasn't how Elliot Ness got what's his nuts? Capone?
Al Capone, yeah.
Yeah.
And the ones I worked with on the Snipes trial, they were the ones that arrested him. Sometimes you need to arrest people who are evading their taxes. It becomes a criminal matter. So you do need Treasury agents. Okay. Clary, a couple more things. I want to reiterate two things. One, I was debating offering this for a future stream. I will apply for this job and go through the interview process if somebody gives me enough super chats, because I would probably get granted some passes.
Wait, now hold it. You're gonna again. I don't like the IRS. Are you going to waste their time? I mean,
yes.
They're kind of okay. All right. I think they're a little beleaguered, but so you would go, what? People would have to get you your flight out there?
Well, what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Now, remember, I worked for the government for a very long time.
Yeah, you had experience. Yeah.
So it'd be very easy for me, unless they saw these streams. Like I could apply for a position and get it. But you remember that question they asked about diversity and inclusion? I'm equally wondering if they would even call me for an interview, because who am I? Look at me.
You're a white male.
So I would almost apply to it just to know if I could even get an interview. And if I was granted an interview, I would want to know how the interview process went, because I want to know how they're trying to vet these people that are supposedly going to go up against America's
That would be
best.
legitimate. And here's the reason I think that would be legitimate, because then you would help. Again, I hate being dishonest, even if it is the IRS, because if you went in there to figure out a way, okay, here's the question you're going to ask, and then you told everyone how they're going to ask, then they would get more people to apply and qualify. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're getting information, you're disseminating the information, so you're not actually wasting their time.
Why would I disseminate that information?
I may charge for it. I don't know. Why would you not disseminate the information? Because they get you on fraud? Why? I'm confused about the whole point of this.
Here was my mentality, and I guess I could charge for the information. I don't know if it's legal. My mentality was, and this is more of a personal thing, I want to know how they're determining who's qualified to get onto these. I want to know, how are they screening these people that they're trying to hire? What are they asking? How are they determining who gets this job? Whether it's diversity or inclusion, is it education? Is it experience? Yeah. I would want to interview down at the Chicago office just to try to find out how they're going to staff these positions, because there's no way they're going to be able to do it.
Well, then out of morbid curiosity, I would do it. That would almost be investigative journalism, is what that would fall under.
It's morbid curiosity. It's not. I may not even talk about it, but I may. I just think it would be interesting to go.
You made it sound like you had to fly to Washington D.C. We had to raise money. All it's going to be is a $5 L ride downtown.
No, the Midwest headquarters are downtown. I mean, I don't know how much longer.
Right. How much money do we have to raise for you to go 30 minutes or whatever down on the train?
None. This would more for personal, but that I may or may not talk about it either on here or someplace else. That's funny that Safety Doc just said that. Yes, I could write it off as a business.
You could write it off. Could, yeah. But you know what? I think it would make a great. See, now my only concern is it make you a lightning rod for the IRS. If you did that to the IRS and wasted their time, we're going to get this fucker. And now you got to, would they audit you just to F with you?
If they audited me, they wouldn't get any money. I'm a CPA.
I know that, but they would get your time. What I'm saying is, I understand from a curious, intellectual, and educational perspective why you would do that. You then face the risk if you went online and made fun of them.
But I didn't say I would necessarily do that. That's the
Right.
thing. This is more internal. This is not me
That's just for
trying to
you.
get. Yeah, this is just for me.
Oh,
This is not,
then you could do it because there's no drawback. Yeah.
This is not me trying to get super chats. This is not me trying to be like an online, badass.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Okay. No.
I think I want to do this because I'm genuinely curious. How the hell are they going to find people?
Do it. Absolutely. I'd be very curious too, because I want to know how deep does that brainwashing go for hiring people with particular traits, physical traits. Like, you guys are up shit creek and you're going to play that game. You need people, man.
Yes, that's
That's
kind of my point, is that, look, I don't fall in any bucket where they can give me special treatment,
No, you do not. No.
So that's why I thought I would try the process, mainly because I wouldn't have to go anywhere or do anything. It's just down there.
When would you do that?
As soon as they post the positions, probably this fall, because that's when, they're probably when the funding goes
before you set up a teachable class, right? I mean, you got time to go down and play patty cake with the IRS for fake interviews. You don't have time to set up a class.
I would not. No. I'm trying to find the last. Clary, did we do this one? I think we did.
Yeah, we did. There's two more. I think it's starting with Eric Burns Marsh for $5. Eric Burns Marsh for $5. Dems are doing the economic equivalent of trying to drink oneself sober. Is there other stuff in that package then that's just like spending money?
There is, but I was only focusing on like the IRS.
Yeah, on the IRS, right? Yeah. And the next one, Michael Augustine for $10. Will you provide an affiliate link to your fans besides Cappy to help promote your course?
Well, absolutely. When I get it done.
When he gets it up. Yeah, you wouldn't provide an affiliate link. You would just provide the direct link because you get 100% of the sales. It would be me. I provide my link to my audience, which is roughly the same as your audience. So anyone outside of that would, that's how an affiliate link works. An affiliate of yours promotes your class.
Do you still do the Amazon affiliate?
Yeah. Do all your shopping. You and the candidate should be doing all of your olderbrother.com/donate. Click on the Amazon banner. Do all your shopping there.
I will say I miss the Older Brother YouTube channel. I miss it, but I understand why you don't have
YouTube. People in Silicon Valley who are all very intelligent with master's degree in computer engineering just couldn't make it where I could change an EIN number, and they even you've because it was a monetized channel, and they're all like, oh, we're not making any more money. I'm like, we could have made more money. YouTube, Google made it way too difficult for me to just switch an EIN number. I was like, okay, done. Just done.
I remember that phone call.
Yeah, it was good times. This guy, this schmo, I don't know who he is. Atham El DeQA, $2. I found the school YouTube channel, Clear Value Tax, Mexican Poops.
You guys, Brian Kim has $1.7 million subscribers. He doesn't need me to advertise for him.
We're closing in on him. We're gonna make him look like small fry.
I just want to say he did do a great video on what I just talked about. So
remember when you hated his guts? You clenched your teeth at night and you just
I would love to have Brian on this show, but he's too big time for me.
How do you know? Have you emailed him?
I haven't. I have his number.
Okay. Do you know how to do I know. Do you know how to get the link to a YouTube video?
Yes.
Do you know how to get a link to a YouTube video at a particular time?
Yes.
Okay. So you do the share, you click on the link, and you put it to where we're talking about getting Brian Kim on. All right. And then you send him, you follow him on Twitter. All right. And then you email, you text, I say, I wonder if Brian Kim would come on my show. And
Larry,
to be yeah.
He had the CEO of Robinhood on his show recently.
Yeah.
I don't even have 1,500 subscribers yet. There is no way
you wouldn't go on his show. He would come on yours.
I don't think he would. I'm too small time, but I'll ask him.
Will you listen to me? I don't know. If there was a guy who was experienced in podcasting around, I don't know if you'd want to listen to him or not. It's up to you.
I'm listening.
You get where we start talking about him, right?
Yeah.
Which is a minute or so ago. All right. You find that link. You say, Brian, I'm Chicago CPA, so you get the, hey, we live in the same crappy city and we're the same crappy profession. I have a show called the Elkins Accounting Hour. I was wondering if you want to come on. Also have a specific topic. Don't just, hey, you want to come on and talk about yourself? Something that you actually are curious about in the accounting profession or field, all right? And the reason it may work more than you think is that these guys, I've had people from smaller channels ask me to come on, and I'll go on. Sure, why not? I want to talk shop with people. It's not like a huge chore. Just sometimes I don't have the time. And you're like, oh, Chicago CPA, he talks shop. Oh, yeah. And look at this funny bit about him and his crazy economist friend making fun of me. And he might just come on just for the sake of it, but people are more likely to come on. Look, you got a show that's monetized.
True.
It's going to help him out, albeit a little bit, but
Tiny bit.
It's not going to hurt him.
He's a big deal.
Yes, he is. But go on, invite him anyway. What's going to hurt? Look, you had a webcam girl on. I mean, that's pretty good. It's a different show. This isn't your regular boring snorf. This isn't your dad's CPA show. Could you imagine Mr. Elkins doing a podcast?
He doesn't even want to watch us.
I know he doesn't watch us, and he gets a laugh when we give the finger. That's about it, which I find hilarious. But like, you're a CPA that has a personality and gets laid every once in a while. You're like the king of the CPAs.
Yeah, sometimes.
LP, the second $5. I work as a software quality analyst, make $65K. I work remotely, looking to move out of California after getting the CPA. Why? Wait, if you work remotely, why are you in California?
You don't need to be there anymore.
Yeah. Do you like feces and tuberculosis? What?
Well,
rent is rent yeah, he says rent is cheap at the moment, so I could stay in California. I would get out.
To be fair, he's in San Diego, which is better than
that's better than most of it, but it's still California. You ever been to not Del Mar? Where are all the seals that poop? La Jolla. Have you ever been to La Jolla?
Yes, I've been to La Jolla.
Oh my God. It's like the people of Sedona and Telluride and Jackson Hole all go there too. It's like the same group of people.
Beautiful area.
But a bunch of douchebags. Goddamn bacon 223. Rolo went on Nick August and Masculine Geek. Just saying. Yeah. See what he did there? Saying, huh? You get the nerd joke?
I got it. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Clary, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Is there anything else you want to hawk or say?
No, I already promoted all my stuff while you're getting a soda.
You guys,
I'm on Jason Hartman's show tomorrow.
Are you?
Speaking of people bigger than us, yeah, Jason Hartman. Do you know who he is?
I do, actually.
Yeah, so I'm on his show. Last time I was on his show was like 6 years ago. Him and I obviously were much smaller audiences back then, but he's grown a lot.
How many subscribers do you think he's up to now?
I don't know. See, that's the irony is I'm not kidding. I watch Bacon. I listen to The Great One. I listen to obscure, funny, weird podcast. I listen to, history podcasts. I don't listen to the big time guys. Yeah, I haven't, especially finance and investing. Like I'm so over that. And so it's kind of interesting that Jason want to have me on to talk. We're talking about the Book of Numbers. I guess he is expanding, or at least for this episode, including a non-investment type of topic. So,
what time are y'all? What time are y'all going on live tomorrow?
11 a.m. my time tomorrow. So that's
noon Central and
1 Eastern. Yeah.
10 a.m. Pacific. Okay. Yep, 7 a.m. Hawaii time.
Yeah. Now I don't know if it's going live. Maybe we're just recording and he'll edit it later and upload. But I'm talking to him tomorrow at 11. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you guys. No, I got nothing else.
Okay. I should be back probably the regular time, 6 p.m. Central next Tuesday. I may not have a guest. Maybe I'll see if Clary wants to do it again. If not, I'll just come on here and spitball.
Cool.
But, you guys, thank you so much for the super chats, and we should hang out soon.